And welcome into another episode of Dan Tony Sports. My name is Dan Snyder, joined at the moment by Dan O'Shea and Dan Beebe. Gentlemen, how are you doing tonight?
Doing well. Not in the car this time, which is a nice change.
So no road rage?
Yeah, you won't hear me calling anyone a fucking idiot except for you guys.
Which you know we are. Beebe, how are you?
Pretty good, sorry.
Nope, not a problem. Guys, we got a lot to go over. Shouldn't be too difficult of a show tonight. We got football, and more football. So let's start with football, yeah? All right. So I just want to start with Philip Rivers. For the last 17 years, Philip Rivers has been such a great guy to watch play. Might not have always had the best seasons, might not have always had a ton of wins, but he's a really good football player. Number 3 overall pick back in 2003, I think it was. Announced that he finally has enough money to be able to afford to feed his family with all them kids, so he's calling it quits. I just want to ask. I just want to ask if you guys have seen this correlation or not. But Rivers came into the NFL in the early 2000s and is going out in 2020. But Doritos 3D left in the early 2000s and is coming back in 2020. Am I the only one seeing this correlation here?
Philip Rivers has been depriving me of 3D Doritos this whole time.
He steals them to give to his kids.
Bastard.
It
all makes sense now.
I bought a bag of each because I loved them when I was younger. Can't wait for them to get super popular and then bring back like the salsa verde, which were my favorite. But I just wanted.
I haven't found them. You found them already? I haven't found them in any stores near me.
We found literally one bag in Price Chopper, and Christine found a bag of the other kind in CVS.
Amazing.
If you're willing to wait, if you go onto Walmart on their app or their website, you can pre-order for delivery on the 25th. So
they're sold out. Does this coincide with the PS5 release or something?
Must be. But for weeks, I've been searching real hard to find not only the Doritos 3D, but also the Mountain Dew Major Melon, which is also delicious, by the way. So good. But anyways, let's step aside from the snacks and let's get back to Philip Rivers. Unless, Dan Beebe, you got anything you want to say about 3D Doritos?
It just makes sense the way you put that, so that's pretty quite the fact of the day here.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Philip Rivers announced that he will be retiring. And so I just want to touch on this for like 2 minutes, and then I want to move on to head coaching vacancies that have seemed to have been filled. But real quickly, do you think Jacob Eason, with all that defensive talent, with the receivers, the running backs they've got, do you think Indianapolis seems like they're in a win-now mode, correct? So do they go out and get a veteran quarterback like a Carson Wentz, someone they feel they can have a lot of success with? Or do you say, we've got the weapons in place, we've got the defense in place, we're confident in Jacob Eason or Jacoby Brissett that we're just going to rock with them for the year, and if it doesn't work out, we'll draft again? What do you think should be their mindset? Rock with someone on the team, draft a quarterback, sign a veteran? What do you think?
I can't imagine they're confident with Brissett. We've kind of seen what he is. He's a backup. Nothing wrong with that, but he's never gonna bring you to a championship. I do think they make a move of some sort, even if I don't see them drafting somebody unless it's for like long-term future. I think for next year they're gonna go out and sign somebody, whether that's or maybe trade for them, whether that's Wentz,
Cam Newton for a year,
for Darnold. Maybe they think he's got something to kick the tires on that could translate a little quicker.
Daniel Jones.
Yeah, if Giants are willing to part with him, maybe they'll see what Houston's doing with Deshaun.
If history's any indicator, they can get him for a bag of Doritos 3D. It ties back in.
It does. Yeah, I definitely think they make some sort of quick turnaround on QB. Their window is open for this coming year and the year after that. But after that, it gets a little dicey with contracts and everything.
Supposedly, there are some people in the organization who think that Jacob Eason could be their quarterback of the future. I feel like, on one hand, we should have seen him play already, if that's the case. But on the other hand, Phillip Rivers, you would have to think, even if Eason was ready to play, that Phillip Rivers would be the best chance for them to win right now. So, yeah. I don't know. I'd like to see what they can do with Eason. But really, the only thing that makes sense to me, if you're trying to win a Super Bowl, is go get a guy like Cam Newton. Go get a guy like... who are other veteran quarterbacks that they've had success with? Maybe go out and get Teddy Bridgewater.
Nick Foles, maybe?
Maybe go out and get Nick Foles, Big Dick Nick, or if you
he's done it before.
Yeah, or if you feel like Mitchell Trubisky gives you a better chance, go for him. Carson Wentz supposedly is tied to like literally every team in the NFL. I've literally heard people saying that they think Wentz is going to end up in Houston. They think Wentz is going to end up in Indy. They think Wentz is going to end up in Chicago. They think Wentz is going to end up with the Jets, with the Giants. Literally, like any team that might have an issue at quarterback, I've heard Carson Wentz's name attached to, except the Philadelphia Eagles. So
yeah, tough to say what that trade would look like because the Eagles, that contract is hefty, and
for a backup,
it's obvious that they need to get rid of him. So if they have like very little leverage, they'd probably have to give up picks to get rid of him. So it is kind of interesting to see what could happen with that if they could figure some sort of trade out. Yeah, there's certainly a few guys they could go after. Eason, I haven't seen enough to really weigh in on myself, but I do think that the Colts have a good coaching staff. So if they feel comfortable with him, then Colts fans probably should as well.
Yeah, that coaching staff is definitely doing things right. They're not getting like the flashiest names, the flashiest guys in the room. Otherwise, you would have seen them go after Clyde Edwards-Helaire early on, maybe J.K. Dobbins early on, but they stayed patient, and Jonathan Taylor fell to them. So they made the smart move, not the flashy move, not the splash move, and grabbed him. I don't think anyone thought when they were drafting Pittman that was a splash move, but they're making these smart moves, calculated risks, and they're definitely paying off, and it's making that coaching staff look like they're geniuses. So yeah, you're right. If they say they're confident in Eason, then I guess you should have faith in the coaching staff that Eason's the guy. Personally, I think they would probably be better off signing a veteran. Again, like I said, maybe Cam Newton. I don't know. He didn't look too great in New England, but they also didn't really have a very good team in New England this year. So
right.
So we'll maybe Jameis is available, although he's going to be a Saint for the next 6 years, I guess. But yeah, I think the Colts, no matter what they do at quarterback, I think they will still be playoff contenders. But I don't know how far Jacob Eason right now can take them.
Right.
But Dan O'Shea, before we went on air tonight, I asked you to pick up my slack, and let's talk about the coaching vacancies that have been filled, including your New York Jets. So why don't we start there?
All right. Well, the Jets obviously hired Robert Saleh. I am quite happy with the hire. He was the DC of the 49ers, and is very well respected around the league. Players love him. Other coaching personnel talk very highly of him. And he's already bringing some respect to the Jets just with him and with his seeming hiring of Mike LaFleur, Matt LaFleur's younger brother, from the Shanahan offensive coaching tree. So there's going to be a lot of big changes out of MetLife this season. Yeah,
and anytime he does anything well, the coaching staff, that is, I think we need to create a little dance called the Tossed Saleh.
Yikes.
Honestly, I think we discussed this when we went over the coaching needs and whatnot. The Jets have historically been best when they've had a defensive-minded coach at the helm. So this is hopefully not going to be Todd Bowles, but it's going to be going back closer to what Rex Ryan had going on. So
yeah, and he seems like a passionate guy. He's a coach that has a get back guy because he's prone to coming out on the field a little bit, not charging the refs or anything stupid, but he just gets hype and goes over the white line a little bit. So he's got someone that makes sure he doesn't go over the white line and draw an accidental penalty, which I actually love that. I think that's great. That shows his passion for the game.
Easiest $100,000 job in sports.
Yeah, I would love to sign up to be that guy.
There are some that I've seen in college where they're literally tethered together and they will pull on the rope to pull the coach back in. I think
hilarious.
I think it was Appalachian State. The head coach at Appalachian State had someone pulling him by a rope. Maybe, yeah, I think it was them. But yeah, that's great. I would love that job.
Yeah.
Oh man.
All right, so we've also got the Jaguars. They hired Urban Meyer.
We all called it.
Yeah. No one's surprised by this hire at all. He's big down in Florida already. He's Urban Meyer. I don't know what else to say about Urban Meyer, really, that hasn't been said 1,000 times over.
I do want to make a prediction for how his season is going to go. He's going